All right, so we are now halfway through The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've seen 3 episodes. We have 3 more to go, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what we've seen, how we feel about what we've seen so far, and what we kind of expect moving forward. Just to start off, I feel like this show is on a better track than the WandaVision was, just for me personally.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's going to be an inevitable comparison, right? Since these are the first 2.
Right.
And I do think I'm overall liking this show better.
Right. I think that for me personally, at least, it doesn't seem like they are setting up secrets and Easter eggs as much as what WandaVision was setting up. So I'm happy on that level already. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think it has a really good storyline. Like, I like it. There are like some corny moments. I feel like sometimes they try to force humor into the show.
It's
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially this last episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's...
But like, yeah, I like it.
I think it's definitely much more accessible than WandaVision. I think I could easily show this series to anyone I know and they would get some type of enjoyment out of it. I think WandaVision was kind of niche for the fans, very experimental, whereas Falcon Winter Soldier is just, good old fashioned action. It's a little bit of a whodunit and how they're going to resolve it. There's a good amount of drama, but not too much. And it's, I don't know, it's a good time when I watch it every time.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and this show's kind of encouraged me to go back and watch the Captain America movies and also like the last 2 Avengers movies, which I haven't finished yet, but I did watch the Captain America movies because of this show, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. I was gonna say one big strength that I feel with this show is that just like with the Marvel movies, where they don't really feel like a superhero movie, but instead it feels like a genre featuring superheroes. I definitely get that feel of this show. Like, it doesn't really feel like a superhero show comparing to like if you watch shows like, the CW verse or even Agents of Shield and stuff like that. It really does feel like I'm watching like an action movie featuring, or an action series featuring like the Avengers and all that. So they definitely have a good strong with that. As well, with, even though the comedy is a little corny, I like that because it literally feels like I am back in that universe. Because like WandaVision, although the aesthetic did sort of, and they had references, the humor didn't really feel as like this MCU universe as opposed to this. Like, it actually does feel like I'm back to like, what's it called? I wouldn't say far from home, but basically back from Endgame, especially with them mentioning the whole 5-year thing. So it really feels like we're coming back right from that. So I really enjoy the series as well.
I think it kind of has something to do also with just the more grounded cast, because it's like not like godlike characters. Like, it's like, there are some super soldiers. There's Bucky and he's got his arm, and it's like, it's not gonna get too crazy into the realm of like, I don't know, quantum physics or magic or anything like that. Like, it's just concentrated on kind of, it could almost be like real world issues, really,
It feels like it's lighter. Like, the topics are lighter. You don't, like, it's very straightforward. You don't have to really know too much about the universe or whatnot. It could be like a show that you start off like after watching a few Marvel movies, I feel like. Except for the whole like 5-year thing, you kind of have to know that for Avengers.
Right. So basically, one of the big things that they show us, or that they reveal to us, is Sam's decision to give up the shield at the very beginning of the show, and then the U.S. government giving that shield to random nonsense guy, John. That's his name, John Walker. So yeah, what do you guys think of that just off the bat?
I liked John Walker when they introduced him. I don't know, I thought it was cool.
Wow.
But I will tell you what.
Controversy.
Hey, when they introduced him, he seemed like a cool, well-rounded, humble guy. I don't know what happened, but between this episode that just happened and that episode, they already did a 180 and made him look like a jerk. So I'm like, dude, we just met him. Like,
I mean,
Very
Well,
true.
we
I
all
think he
knew
was-
that they were going for this, but it was still kind of too quick for me.
Interesting.
I think, well, the thing is, they introduced him with video or like a movie and some announcer person, so it's all like sort of staged. So this is
Yeah,
his true
but-
personality.
Well, I mean, in the locker room where he's with his buddy, I
Yeah.
thought in that
Yeah.
scene, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like his heart's in the right place, and I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
anything
yeah.
bad to happen to him. Now I actually don't care about him.
but,
But like on the field, right, when you're facing
Yeah.
the enemy, that's when your true colors show.
That's true.
And that's
I
when you can
suppose.
see how distinctive he is from
from
the
Rogers.
actual Captain America. Yeah, Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But even still, like in that area, like when he is going out on that field at the football on the football field to like the cheering and the dancing girls, it's like that's not Steve Rogers.
Well,
that's
yeah,
not
that's the
Captain
point.
America's Steve Rogers. And so that already from that moment, it's kind of showing us the differences
Well,
between.
Yeah,
the
even
Yeah,
he was
to be-
uncomfortable with that too.
Yeah.
back in the World War II, right? When Captain America was doing his thing, and he was just going around, and he was going around on stages with
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
It was like
But
patriotic
luckily-
American propaganda videos. and
Luckily,
stuff.
I just watched this, so but yeah, that's true. But he didn't like that. Like he was
Yeah.
going through all of that. But then when it came down to like what he actually wanted to do, like when he was doing that in front of the actual soldiers, he felt ashamed. So, and then that kind of was one of the things that prompted him to actually become Captain America. So, I think that it's still an interesting difference between the two.
Exactly.
And then one of the other things that this show has been doing, which is really interesting, is the discussion about race and racial issues in America. What do you guys think about that? Have you guys picked up on that stuff?
Yeah, it was pretty blatant, I would say. So if you did not pick up on it, you need to like watch some news.
I mean,
Really.
I think, yeah.
I was gonna say I've noticed something. Well, episode 2 had a big one, but I didn't really notice too much on the recent episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like they were getting somewhere in that second episode, and I was like, this is actually pretty interesting. Like, this is a real thing that happened in the comics. This was like a Marvel original sin, but
really?
and then they like kind of glazed over in this episode. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if we're ever
Talking
gonna hear about
Isaiah
that again.
Bradley.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was interesting when I saw it, but I don't know like what they're planning to do with it now because they didn't really mention it again outside of like kind of a small footnote in this episode, this last episode.
Well, hopefully, I'm sure that they'll revisit him. There's still 3 more episodes left. So I'm expecting that.
I'm pretty excited to see how closely it would follow the comics because I read like somewhere that the comics, are pretty political as well, and it deals with like I think one part was like a snippet that I saw, and it was like someone saying like America's not ready for a black Captain America.
Right, which is Bucky,
Yeah.
not Bucky, which is Sam's whole deal, which you kind of get a sense of that as you go throughout the show. That's probably one of the big reasons why he felt unworthy to carry the shield, is because he knew what it would look like to the rest of America to have like a black person be the face of Captain America. And then with the revelation of Isaiah Bradley in the second episode, I think that further proved him right, where like there literally was a black Captain America that they just kind of put in jail for 30 years and abused him. And they kind of did call back to him actually in this episode, where they were like, there was an American test subject that we used his blood to recreate the super soldier serum. That was obviously a reference to Bradley. So the idea of using this black Captain America as an experiment, very Tuskegee experiment-esque. It was. I think that subject is very interesting because it's not necessarily something that Marvel has ever done before. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It seems like race has not necessarily been an issue, and it doesn't. It's not like it has had to be an issue, but I think it's a great thing that they're including it here because it makes it more interesting. It makes it more real, in my opinion. Yeah.
I agree. I'm really excited to see if they're gonna tackle on more of that, or if it was just, you know, a snippet.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they if they address it in the movies, or if it'll be just a background thing.
I don't know if they would do that, but
maybe not.
I also get I'm really scared because I get a sense that I feel like this might turn out like WandaVision in the end, but I hope it doesn't.
How so?
Yeah, how so?
I don't like. It's starting off good, and I feel like that's similar to WandaVision. Like, it started off like good, and then
to be fair, WandaVision kind of started off boring, then it got interesting, and then we realized it didn't really lead to anything. So
I think things will be a little different here, where, because, you know, at the end of the movies, I mean, it's still canon that, like, for like the movie universe, that Sam gets the shield. So I think even if we see him again in the movies and like someone hadn't seen like Falcon Winter Soldier and they see him as like Captain America, that would be normal. So I think we are seeing a journey of Sam kind of slipping into this role his own way, and hopefully we get to see that and it's satisfying at the end for the viewers and for Sam.
One of the interesting things that I noticed, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but like they have John Walker's character surrounded by like black people a lot, which I found interesting because his best friend is black, his wife is black, he went to a historically black college, and they had the black marching band that was like parading him out to everybody. And so it's just like, it was very interesting that all of these black figures around him are like propping him up, but it was like a black person initially who gave it up, and that's the reason why he's Captain America in this instance to begin with.
Are you trying to say like there's a metaphor?
yeah,
That's so
it
interesting.
sounds like it would be.
It seems so. Like
Interesting.
just all of these. I mean, I noticed that too because at the beginning, I was like, when it was like that entry for episode 2, I was like,
And then the
am I
locker room?
watching? Not like right after the locker room.
Oh, okay.
After the title sequence, and I was like, it started the drum line started. I'm like, am I watching Nick Cannon right now? I was like, what is going on? And then it was literally drum line. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that was a great
that's
Nick
very
Cannon
interesting.
cameo.
Yeah, imagine. But yeah, it was just something that I noticed, which I think it's interesting. It'll be cool to see what they do with it moving forward. And we know from the trailers of this show that Sam eventually gets the shield, because he's like, we see him training with the shield. He does this cool butterfly twist and catches it and stuff like that. So, you know, he'll get it eventually. But one of the other really interesting things that I wanted to talk about is Bucky's mental health in this show. And we see him having to go through these therapy sessions, and we see him sleeping on the ground, which is a callback to which is callback to Winter Soldier, where Sam and Steve are talking about how the bed is too soft and they have to sleep on the ground after war. So all of these things that Bucky's dealing with, I think that mental health and like that aspect of what these characters inevitably are going through is something that hasn't also been addressed in the Marvel universe. Like as far as race and racial tension, mental health has never really been addressed. I guess we got it with WandaVision.
We did.
Kind of. We did. But in the movies, we haven't really gotten that in a more grounded way, like what Crystal was saying earlier, how this show seems more grounded. So what did you guys think about that?
I think it has like more time for it to really make it like a discussion. Because I feel like movies, you know, it's so short and you're trying to focus on other things. And so it's hard to bring like mental health to the forefront of like the plot and I guess just a topic. But in general, I think it's really interesting to see because it's mental health tackled on from a male perspective too, because usually you don't really, I feel like you see mainly females in like mental health situations when it's televised, and I think it's a good way to see from Bucky's perspective and really live in his shoes and what he's going through.
Yeah, I think the last time they touched on like mental health in the films was like what, Iron Man 3, and it was like Tony Stark had like PTSD and anxiety.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, also people hated that film, so like now they're bringing it back to the forefront, and I think it's cool. And I think, Christine, you're right. I would say usually in a series you have more time to explore topics like mental health and all that, but I feel like we've been like praising it so far, but I want to say like the pacing to me might be a little off, because we know that these are all the issues that they're tackling in this series, and I feel like this is already halfway through the season, and I don't know if like we're going to be able to like dive deep with each of these characters as they try to get over these issues, right? I know that's what we want, and I hope that they can get to it, but that's like my only fear right now is like, I mean, even this past episode, they had to do a lot of like plot heavy stuff, moving the plot forward with this, you know, fringe group that's trying to help like the refugees and all that they can't really fit everything in each episode. So I don't know if that's maybe like they're going to slow things down next episode to get back to like some of the meat of the personal issues or what, but that's just something that I'm noticing is like the pacing is, for me, off.
I hope they don't
sometimes.
Rush it, because then it is going to turn out not that great.
Yeah, I get that. Dang, one of the big like gut punches was in the first episode when you realize why Bucky is hanging around the old man. And yeah,
that was deep, dude. That was like another level.
Yeah, I just it's crazy that, because like what my first thought was like, oh man, he's torturing himself. And it's just like he feels like he needs to be punished for everything that he did all that time, and like this is his way of punishing himself. And it's crazy. I think that this show has introduced and set up a lot of very interesting topics and discussions. I just hope that they, like what you guys said, I hope that they hit a good landing point and that they carry it through. We'll see what they do.
Yeah. Hopefully they follow through with it and give it a good conclusion, or at least give it some sort of arc and not just a mention.
Yeah.
But one other character that you guys didn't really mention yet is Sharon, and I am so confused why they just left her there the entire time when everyone else sort of gotten pardoned and whatnot. So her character's like, her reason for being there is I do not understand it. I'm just like, why did no one choose to like try to get her out?
That might have been a little bit contrived.
I think they kind of like implied that they forgot about her. I feel like
that's the viewer experience too, because I was like, what is she doing here?
Can she like call someone? I don't know. They have phones. I saw someone recording the fight with Bucky.
She's on the run.
Did she get blipped away, or was she there?
No, she was there. I think.
Did she get blipped, or?
She didn't mention it.
No.
We don't know, but it doesn't sound like she was, because I feel like she would have said something. Because I mean, Sam was the one that brought it up. He was like, "Oh, between like this and the blip and everything, like, you know," that's when Christine.
I think
they kind of said like, "Oh, like, we couldn't remember you."
I think it's way more realistic if she was blipped, though.
Yeah,
but she didn't say anything.
I would buy it.
She
if
had
she
to
was
have
blipped.
been. There's absolutely zero. It doesn't make any sense if she wasn't.
Then
because Captain America was still there.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
Captain America would have helped her for sure.
Would have been there if she was blipped and gone for that whole period, and then at the end of Endgame, you know, Captain America does his own thing, so he wouldn't have been thinking about Sharon at that point. But like in the blip time, it would be like, hey, where's this one girl who like I made out.
I want it to be real, but I don't know. Did they confirm
Yeah.
that? I'm gonna look that up later, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
They don't need to confirm that. It's just pure logic at this point. If she wasn't blipped, then I would have some major issues with this show.
I feel like
that might
she
be a
was
problem
super.
I don't think she was
seemed
blipped.
really pissed, guys. She was a different person. That sounds like someone that was scorned for 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
I
don't
mean,
know,
well,
guys.
she forgave them like super easily, so I don't know.
Because like she's been living in like at this point, how long has it been since the blip? Do we know?
It's got to have been a couple months at least.
It has to.
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't think she was blipped because she has a nice ass place. She has clients that she built.
She was on. Okay, you got to remember they were on the run for what they said 2 years.
They were on the run for 2 years after the events of Civil War.
So they probably got separated, and she was probably there for at least a year or two.
Oh.
Yeah, but the place wasn't like run down.
Yeah,
Hey,
but there's no way Captain America would not have helped her. That's
she didn't
crazy.
help out. She didn't help out with the fight against Thanos, so maybe
He had
this
more
is
important things to
getting
do,
back.
you know?
Avengers
For 5 years?
headquarters
For
the
5
whole
years?
time.
Yeah. He had more, like literally, if half the world is gone.
He was doing like AA sessions with random ass people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He can't like go rescue a friend who he actually had feelings for. No way.
Okay,
No way.
We
just
gotta move on from
completely
this topic and research.
They had like a whole romance thing going.
Yeah, but look where
Yeah.
that got them. I mean, it's not like he's with her.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, are there
And that's
any
an awkward
other?
situation. I feel like he has reason to avoid her, so.
Is it? He only did that after he learned who she was. So
Either way, that was a little contrived to me. Just something to point out. And then
maybe they'll
Marvel.
explain it.
I
There's
mean,
still 3 more episodes. They could throw.
Yeah,
do a throwaway
they did
line.
leave us
Just-
on a cliffhanger with her anyways, because she did have an associate that she was going to relay all the information to, and I don't know what her next move is. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably see her again and see what the deal is after. Yeah.
What do you guys think of Baron Zemo? I like that I kind of like that he's back. I think that he has a great chemistry with Sam and Bucky. I think it's pretty cool.
He's good.
I enjoyed their scenes together and their dialogue, but it's just I'm amazed at how they trust him so easily.
Yes. Yeah.
Or at least
He literally
Bucky
killed
trusts him easily.
Yeah.
It's going to bite them in the ass eventually, I'm pretty sure. I like Baron
mean-
Zemo a lot.
We see
Every-
snippets of it already.
Every move that he's doing actually makes a whole lot of sense. But my prediction is that he's going to end up wanting to kill the super soldiers, and then the super soldiers are actually going to try to do good, you know? So Sam is going to be conflicted, so they're going to have to fight him at the end. That's my prediction.
It's probably going to be very close to that because it makes sense. But yeah, he has a good chemistry. I don't remember, and I'm gonna have to revisit the old films now because I don't remember him being such a badass. Because like you see the scenes where he's like escaping prison and like fighting all these people, and I'm like, dude, is this a Jason Bourne? Like what happened?
And he's rich.
I think it's
He just
all-
became
Wayne?
Batman.
Yeah, I think it's
Prison
the
changed
comic
him.
character I think is rich, but I think that it's a lot of his skill in Civil War was implied because he's mostly just undercover. It's more spy work that he's doing. He's like undercover. He like killed the guy to take his place and all that stuff. So yeah, they didn't really show it. So I'm not necessarily mad at that part.
No, I'm not hating on it. I think they're turning him into like a really interesting and likable character. It's always fun to like the bad guys too. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always fun when the antagonist teams up with the protagonist.
Yeah.
it's an
But we'll
it's
see
an
what
interesting
happens.
dynamic, like you said.
We'll see what happens because, they came for him.
Yeah. Ooh, what did you guys think of Bucky running into old girl from Wakanda?
Yeah.
I was actually going to talk about
I
that.
mean, T'Challa left him alive, so she has to honor her king's wishes, right? Just bring him back to prison is probably what she's gonna do.
I
But she's
like
after
it.
Zemo, isn't she?
Yeah, she's after Zemo.
But I don't think she would straight up kill him. That doesn't make sense. Like she would be
No,
going against
that-
T'Challa's wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it helps with Bucky's redemption arc because you always see him running to his past. So it's like this past is always like coming to him. So that's where I feel like that's one element why I like it as well. So it's like him kind of owning up to it. But yeah, I am curious to see where that goes as well.
Yeah. So she's a Dora Milaje, right?
Yes.
I don't think, if anything, I don't think she would kill Zemo either. I think maybe they'll put him in cryo sleep like they did with Bucky. But
They could do that.
Cryos.
But yeah, do you think he recognized her? He was familiar with her, right? Do you think they have a past?
Oh.
We'll see. We
No,
don't know.
I don't know. I don't
don't
think
know.
so.
Yeah.
I feel like Bucky was he was doing his own thing, farming with one arm. I think he was just trying to like,
Well, who knows,
That's so
man.
true.
Who knows,
Is that
man?
even
Farming one
possible?
arm.
yeah. But I think it's cool. I like that it seems like she's coming into the show and she's gonna like be in the show moving forward, which would be interesting.
Yeah. That's
but yeah.
very exciting, I think.
So many characters now.
I know. Which kind of makes me, you're right, Crystal, like I'm a little suspicious on the pacing because they're introducing new characters and this
Yeah.
is already the middle of
Got
the
3
season.
left.
Yeah.
With only 3 left, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that should theoretically be around like 2 hours and 30 minutes, right? At least.
Plus
I mean,
2
each episode's only like 40 minutes, right?
plus 2
Or
to
less
3
than
after
40
credits.
minutes, actually, yeah. Because after credits are usually like
Okay,
7
so
minutes
maybe
long.
around 2 hours. So it's like a movie length. So hopefully they can give us some good stuff in that movie length time.
Right.
I'm
Wait,
hopeful.
there hasn't been after credits in these past episodes, right?
No.
Oh, no.
They just included
Okay,
it.
cool.
I mean, I'm just thinking about WandaVision where they had like 2 or 3 at the end of the series finale.
Last episode.
So I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm expecting something along the same vein.
Cool. Cool. I don't know if there are any other last minute things. That doctor in the last episode 3, gave me heavy Jesse Eisenberg vibes.
Yeah. Okay, I thought that was the only one. It's his
was thinking
voice
bringing
and
that.
his mannerisms.
Yeah, I
he
felt
was
it.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg Lex vibes.
Yeah.
And then he got his head blown up.
Yeah, I didn't like
Yeah.
him. I hated him. I was like,
Yeah,
this
I
guy
thought they-
seems like a caricature of like a mad
Seriously.
scientist, and I don't really.
I was like, this
Yeah,
Yeah,
actor
Zemo,
is
Zemo did good.
Yeah.
Zemo did good.
You go, Zemo.
And then they're like, no, you did bad. And then they're like, blah blah blah. Let's go. It's good. It's good. It's good.
I can't like verbally support that, but they were like, yeah, I guess, for the better, I guess.
I thought that was funny. It was just like,
Yeah. But other than that, let us know what your thoughts are on the show so far. Let us know what you are hoping for the future and for the conclusion. And we'll definitely engage with you guys in the comments. Give the video a like and subscribe. See you later.